Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Megan,
I'm Sage.
and welcome back to the Squeaky Floorboard Society.
Hopefully, you guys keep joining
All right.
us because we're such a blast.
Yeah, we have a blast doing these. We hope you guys are having a blast listening to them. Before we get into um, our topic of the day, Sage, do you have anything you'd like to share with the class?
Yes. So, you know how I've been trying to be a wine girly for years now at this point.
Yeah, and you've never really been good at that.
No. And here's what my problem has been, y'all. I hate red wine. I think it's disgusting. To me, it tastes like rotten fruit every single time I try it. And I've even tried the blackberry Malort that you wanted me to try, and I hated it.
I did drink. I was very much a red wine girly.
I,
I
to me, it was just so bitter and gross.
I think white wine is dry and bitter.
Well, I don't know if this counts as a white wine, but I was talking to some girls at work and I was like, I've always wanted to like be interested in wine. Always have, but I've hated every single one that I've tried. And one of them was like, well, what have you tried? And I started naming off a bunch of red wines. And they were like, girl, try white wine.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'll try it because Friday I wanted to drink just because it'd been like, I only worked 3 days last week, but I was just like, I just want to drink and just like relax. So we had gone over to PA and we were running some errands over there and we stopped to eat and there's a liquor store right next to it and I was like, let me go in and just like look what they have. So I'm in there looking and I was thinking about getting another bottle of Captain. And I was like, you know what, let me go look at what else they have. So we're over there looking and Dennis is like, well, try this one. If you don't think you like it, try this one. I was like, well, what is it? He's like, it's a rosé. And I was like,
Oh.
what is a rosé? And he's like, it'll be pink and bubbly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hot pink bottle, and the company's name
Ooh.
is Sweet Bitch. Obviously, this is not
Oh.
sponsored,
Right.
but oh my god, I was like, I smelled it. I was like, this is gonna taste exactly like red wine does, and I hate it. Like, I
No,
cannot.
rosé is different.
And I tried it because, like, to me, like everyone I've ever tried has not been bubbly. So I was like, why the fuck is this so bubbly, girl? I drank that, and I was like, this is delicious. Like, it doesn't taste like anything, but also it tastes like strawberries at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, rosé was pretty palatable.
I like that a lot. I still haven't tried a white wine, but
Uh this isn't I don't know if this technically counts as a wine, but like prosecco is very bubbly. You might enjoy prosecco.
I know that I've had champagne before and I never liked it.
Prosecco's not champagne.
I know, I'm just
Champagne only comes from the region of Champagne, France.
I remember getting yelled at.
The grapes have to come from France.
Well, I
Yeah.
remember getting yelled at one day whenever I attended something that involved you and your mom yelled at me that I had to drink a soda during a toast. She's like, "You cannot have this champagne.
Oh,
You are
yeah.
20." And I was like, "Okay."
But mom,
I was
please.
like, "Okay." She's like, "Here, you can have this soda." And I was like, "Okay, thank you."
Yeah. No, don't worry. The next one will be a dry bar anyways. So nobody will have any fun. um, I'm glad you found one that you like though.
I know, it's taken me so many years.
Yeah, no, I was always a wine drinker. I liked wine.
I was, like, more of, like a cider and, like, liquor.
Yeah, I know you're more of a hard liquor girly,
Yeah, so I'm just glad that I finally
but
found one that I could, like
no.
I like that I'm just like, "Oh, this would be nice to, like, wind down to, like, a movie with," instead of, like, grabbing a beer bottle type drink and being like, "This is what I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna drink and watch a TV show," and it just feels wrong.
The only thing that I miss about drinking, I don't even miss wine. I do miss the feeling of a I liked PBR. I genuinely liked PBR. I miss PBR. But that's the price we pay for not drinking.
Hot PBR was the first beer I ever tried.
Well, what the fuck is that? Why are you drinking that? It's gotta be cold.
I was underage, and
Yeah.
it was on school grounds.
Yeah. They're not letting you keep your PBRs in the fridge.
No. And then the first time I ever had a cold beer was I was I was underage, and my dad
Right.
was I think I was probably like 20. So I mean I wasn't that underage. But my dad was changing the heater core in his truck and they were drinking Yingling and he's like we kind of shared a beer.
Feel like so I even though technically yes that's underage here in America, Europeans could never fathom that. Um I feel like that's completely fine. I even feel like once you're a teenager, not like a 13-year-old teenager, but once you're old enough to, drive a metal death trap, I feel like it's fine to have a beer with your dad.
Yeah.
In terms of morality.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't believe in drinking. I believe it exists. I hate when people go, "Oh, it obviously exists." Yeah, I know drinking fucking exists. I think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad thing to do. I just think that it's better to stay away from.
Yeah.
Especially for me, especially for me. But because I'm very much my Irish heritage wants me to drink the entire liquor cabinet.
Do you remember
No,
the trailer?
if there was if there was alcohol involved, no.
Oh god. I remember the trailer night cuz I just woke up and you were sitting on my bed going, "Bitch, I'm here."
Couldn't couldn't remember. Could I? Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You're like, "I
I was
told
like,
you I was
hello.
coming." And I was like, "Oh god. That was when my depression was really bad and I was sleeping like 20 hours
You're like, huh?
a day."
What? Yeah,
Oh
we've been
goodness.
through a lot together, guys.
We have. There's some more
Our
lore
lore
for
is
y'all.
inexplicable. Our lore is inexplicable without context.
It is.
So, my contribution this week is something you already know about, but I think our viewers slash listeners might find it interesting. So my mother who is not a believer in the supernatural necessarily. She does believe in it, but not like in the way that like Sage and I do, where we're
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's probably a werewolf out there. Um, she did think dragons were real, but she thought they were extinct. Look, that's not entirely crazy.
I can believe that.
Um, but she also got a turkey confused with a peacock once. Like she was looking at it in the backyard. She's like, "There's a peacock back here."
To be fair, similar. Similar enough that that's not that
Well,
crazy.
she thought that peacocks had their feathers up all the time, and she thought turkeys literally looked like hand turkeys.
To a point, they
So
kind of do.
I don't know. I don't know where her confusion was. I think she thought it was a girl peacock because girl peacocks aren't like bright and showy. Like so, once again, not the best at identifying things, but you understand how she got there.
Yeah.
Um, so my mom is looking out her window because a bunch of sirens had gone by. And she's like, she lives in a really nice neighborhood. So it's like, why are there 5,000? But the highway's not far.
Yeah. I
So she's like, well,
remember.
surely this isn't in my neighborhood. Like, maybe it's on the highway because that's a lot. And it wasn't her neighborhood. It went down her road. And was like a couple of fire trucks, a couple of police cars, and an ambulance. And she's like, oh, I hope everyone's okay. And then as she's looking out the window, like she looks between her yard. There's like side yard between her and her neighbor, and it's a fairly sizable patch. She said this black dog.
Sorry.
What?
Is this the side that the neighbor I thought was going to call the police on me after you had your child?
No,
The other one?
no.
The
And
one
those
with the
people,
geese?
yeah. The one with the binoculars.
The one that fights the geese?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that one. Um, she was looking between their yard and theirs, and she said this black dog ran between their houses. She said it was extremely fast, and it was skinny and kind of wired. And she sent me a picture. She said this is exactly what it looked like, and she sent me a picture of like a Saluki dog, which That's not a super common breed to own,
Especially
especially
not
not around
here.
here. No, like I've never seen a Saluki in person. She said the ears weren't as shaggy. She said it also kind of looked like a whippet dog, or yeah, that kind of build. But she said that not only was it really fast, she said I don't know where it went. It literally just like was there and then it disappeared in the middle of the grass. She was like, and the grass isn't tall either. Like she said, I should have seen where it went and I didn't. It just was gone.
And they do live in an HOA neighborhood, correct?
Yeah, you can't have your
Yeah.
dogs
Well, and you can't
running
have your
about. You will get
grass
fined.
high up either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
And there's not like woods back there or anything. There's a little creek, but you can see it's not deep enough or low enough that you can't see inside it. You can see the entire length from because she was on the second floor.
yeah.
So like she could see everything. Cuz she was upstairs with my sister.
I remember when your mom kidnapped me and Dennis because the tornado sirens were going off and she refused to let us sleep
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
were supposed to go fishing and she was like, "No, you guys are here until the sirens stop."
Yeah.
And then
Look,
your
my mom is well intentioned.
and then your dad was like not even with us. Like everyone else was downstairs.
My dad was being a typical Midwestern dad despite being from Texas. He's like, the sky. Yes, the sky is there. Like Midwest dads do.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a very interesting little tidbit from my mom. My first instinct, like she texted me at work about it. She was so, like she was freaked out by it.
Which is
It
shock.
wasn't like
Well,
it wasn't just, it's not shocking, but my mom, I've mentioned before, she's had paranormal activity. She is not afraid of that kind of stuff. She's just like, oh, okay then. That's weird. But like she was kind of freaked out about this. And then to make matters worse, she looked up what does seeing a black dog mean.
oh no,
She's like, we're gonna die! I
mom,
was
you
like,
can't do
no,
that.
nobody's gonna die. That's like looking up what a black dog means. It's like WebMDing something and finding out and WebMD tells you have fucking cancer. Like, nobody's gonna die and you don't have cancer.
My
Actually, we know
daughter-in-law
she
is a
doesn't have cancer.
doctor.
What?
I said my daughter-in-law is a doctor.
My daughter-in-law's a doctor. Although, if anybody's gonna die, you would think it would be the woman who said that her daughter-in-law was a doctor. My grandmother is, since you guys know this, my grandmother is in assisted living because she has severe Alzheimer's and cannot take care of herself. She's in a very lovely assisted living place. It's great. I've been there. Uh, obviously to visit her. I go visit her like a good grandchild. But it's nice, and the staff is really, really sweet. She wouldn't be there if we didn't like it. We tried having her live with us, but that didn't work. She was too confused. Then she kept trying to go up and down the stairs, and she would fall down,
Oh.
which isn't funny. But that's why she couldn't live there because of the
For
stairs.
a long time, she was convinced your mom was a doctor.
To this day, she's like, she may as well be a doctor. What's it matter?
And your mom's like, I just look it up online.
Yeah, my mom's like, I just Google it. But yeah, my mom was very freaked out by that sighting. So I thought that was interesting because
That
I've
is
shared before on
interesting.
here. I've shared on here before some of the stuff that's been happening at their house.
It's so weird that it just like disappeared into the grass.
Well, it didn't disappear into the grass. It just was still in the grass and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Like poofed out of existence. And my mom is also not one to just tell stories.
No.
She doesn't just make shit up. She's way too busy to just be sitting around making shit up.
She's got 99
So
problems and this black dog ate one.
she's got, yeah. Well, it could be. It could be
It
one.
could
We
be
don't
if
know
she
yet.
keeps getting on
But
Google.
I was very flattered that she texted me to be like, I feel like you'll know exactly what this is. And I was like, actually, no, mom, I don't know what this is. My experience with with black dogs is the very shaggy variant of the church grim. And I said, if it makes you feel any better, death omen dogs are usually quite shaggy and
Yeah.
snarly looking. I said, this sounds very sleek. The closest thing I could find was to like, oh, a very sleek, wiry dog. Jinn, the Islamic jinn, sometimes take the form of black dogs.
Okay. I did not know that.
Um, yeah, there's even hadiths about black dogs being associated with the devil,
Okay.
but only if they have two white spots above their eyes. Cannot confirm if this dog had
I
those.
would say I don't think anyone could have if it's going as fast
It
as
was
it's
it was
on the
so
thing.
fast. It's like Lightning McQueen. My son is obsessed with Lightning McQueen right now, so
Ciao.
good chow. All right, do you have anything else to share?
That's it.
All right. So today I'm bringing you a topic that I have nicknamed Horrible Halves. We're going to be talking about some things that are werewolf adjacent, but definitely aren't werewolves. So everyone is familiar with the concept of werewolves now, or at least they should be at this point in the season if they've been listening or watching. From King Lycan to Lon Chaney's Wolfman, the werewolf has taken its spot at the top when it comes to half man, half beast monsters of lore. Just because something is top dog, however, doesn't make it the only half man monster. Today, we are going to explore several other creatures that, while only half human, are not half wolf. They're something else entirely. They are best described as horrible halves.
I'm
I see
excited
you.
about this just because
I see you liked my pun.
I why I'm so excited about this is because of the fact that I only got a brief little snippet before I was
Hmm.
like, you should look into like this. And I only know about
Yeah.
one of them. Like not I don't even know about them. I just read the name and was like, what? So
Yeah, I did dig deeper into that, and it's not quite what we thought it was,
really?
but it is it is very much a thing,
Okay.
just not quite in the same context. Also, you know how you have two vapes? I have two drinks.
I've got
So,
two drinks. I got a Dr. Pepper, a coffee, two vapes, and then two chapsticks.
I don't even have one chapstick. So, our first entry is a global phenomenon that you may be more familiar with than you think. A werecat is a human that is capable of shapeshifting into either a humanoid cat creature or into an actual cat. What sort of cat the person turns into really depends on the region the legend is from. In Europe, werecats usually take the form of house cats. Indeed, this is actually a part of European witch lore, which was the
McGonagall.
tie-in. Yes, yeah. So like McGonagall being an animagus that turns into a cat is relevant. Which actually, J.K. Rowling, for all her flaws, did some interesting tie-ins there with McGonagall being a cat, and as well as Sirius Black
Yes.
turning into a black shaggy dog called the Grim. That is a play on the Church Grim. But um, in the Malleus Maleficarum, or Hammer of the Witches, which was a witch hunting guide for those unfamiliar, it is written that witches can turn into cats. The first reference to cats being formally associated with witchcraft was in the text Beware of the Cat, published in 1584, which is a very on the nose name.
Okay.
Um, and the book stated that a witch can turn into a cat 9 times. And this is where the idea that cats have 9 lives may come from.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting that we're getting the cats have 9 lives thing from the fact that witches can turn into them up to 9 times. And as we know from previous episodes and discussions, werewolves were also lumped into the witch craze, so perhaps it is no surprise that dogs were as well. Both cats and dogs were sometimes executed as either witches or as familiars to witches.
I knew about that.
Yeah, I think that was kind of what you sent me. There was an instance of this or something similar in the Salem witch trials. But I think it was the cat was actually a familiar.
Okay. I just
That was my that I couldn't find a whole lot on that specifically because you know, Google kept telling me that there were no cases of a werecat in the Salem witch trials, but I could find where there were cats being accused of being familiars.
well when to be fair, whenever I saw this, it was like the werecats in the Salem witch trials, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean, it's totally I didn't read into the like accusations levied against the witches of the Salem witch trial, but it wouldn't surprise me if at least one of them was accused of turning into a cat
Yeah.
because that was so common in European lore.
Yeah.
Also, the association, this is a side note, the association with cats and witchcraft and witches turning into cats led to one of the popes, I think it was Pope Gregory, if I'm not mistaken, declaring that they should get rid of cats. And so they killed a bunch of cats. And then shortly thereafter, a bunch of ships harbored in the Italian harbors that were coming back from China. And those ships had rats on them that had fleas that carried Yersinia pestis, also known as the bubonic plague. And now there were no harbor cats to catch the rats before they went into the general populace. And so the execution of all these cats in the name of making sure they are not werecats or witches directly caused the bubonic plague.
I have no
So,
words.
guy who wrote Beware the Cat, suck my nuts. Actually don't, because it's I have Crohn's and colitis, which apparently people who have Crohn's and colitis um probably had ancestors who survived the plague. And that's why they have Crohn's and colitis, because those ancestors had an overactive immune system that allowed them
Okay.
to repel the plague.
Okay.
So,
On a
I wasn't really affected by this, but millions of people were.
on a completely unrelated note, sometimes when I can't sleep, I turn on this ASMR of this girl who is a nurse and she pretends like she's taking care of you while you're dying from the bubonic plague.
I love specific ones like that. They're so funny. Have you listened to ASMR Historian?
I have not.
You should. His stuff is great. He's got all kinds of different topics. This is ASMR Historian. If you're listening, I love you. You've got a great voice for what you do. I'm trying to find my place.
You're good.
Oh, okay. In Africa, those who turn into cats take the forms of lions, panthers, and leopards. Those who are werecats are not witches in these tales, but are simply people with like a special ranking or a special preference. Those who turn into lions may have been royalty in a past life, and those who turn into panthers and leopards may be the result of a god mating with a human.
That would make sense.
So instead of directly inheriting like their godly abilities from their parents, they inherit the ability to turn into these animals. In Asia, those who are werecats typically take the form of tigers. India's were-tiger legends. That was terrible. In, legends.
I mean, you read it how it's spelled.
I swear I could read. India's were-tiger legends echo a familiar theme, where sorcerers are the ones who turn into were-tigers and prey on both livestock and sometimes men. So that was giving me some flesh pedestrian vibes.
Yeah.
The Thai, and I may mispronounce this, Suya Saming legend is similar, where men and women can turn into vicious tigers that prey upon humans. Not all were-tigers are evil, though. Their Javanese variant inherits the ability to shapeshift. It's hereditary, and they do so to guard livestock. Only when it seeks a just revenge does it turn on humans.
Okay.
So it's a very equitable killer. It's like Dexter.
Okay.
In South America, priests would wear jaguar skins in order to take on their powers, similar to how Viking berserkers did with wolf pelts. This was a common practice among Aztec warriors, and they went into battle as were-jaguars. To this day, there is belief in werecats. Occultist Rosalind Green puts them as part of New Age spirituality and shifters, while the occultist John Perkins asserts that anyone can do it with enough mental power. So we're going to take a second and see if we can turn into werecats.
Everyone.
Apparently, yeah, all of us, we're going to I'm going to walk us through, let's close our eyes. And you're going to direct all your mental power into conjuring an image of you turning into a cat. Did any of you turn into cats? Let us know in the comments, because I fucking didn't.
I was gonna say, what about people that have aphantasia?
If you have aphantasia, what I want you to do is go stare at a cat and pretend it's you. You're gonna take a cat from your home, just hold it like this, and try and like look at it like this, scare the shit out of it, and you're people who can't see what I just did. I'm not advocating for you to like hurt your cat. I'm saying look at it really wide-eyed because you're trying to transmit your consciousness into it and see what happens. Because if you have aphantasia, you can't picture things in your head. We don't want to leave you guys out. You guys deserve to be able to turn into cats too. Maybe it's a meditation thing. I don't know. Maybe you need to like meditate for an extended period of time, go into that like trance-like state, and then do it. Kind of like astral projecting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's similar. Maybe he's saying it is similar to astral projecting or lucid dreaming. I don't know. I think most things like this, where people genuinely believe that, at least in the New Age spirituality, right?
Yeah.
I think most people who think they can shapeshift are just lucid dreaming.
That's. I can see that.
Because the meditative trance is essentially how you get to a lucid dream state.
Yeah.
They're not dissimilar. But as if werecats weren't strange enough, it gets stranger. As it turns out, the werebear isn't just a creature made up for Skyrim or D&D, but has an actual basis in folklore.
Really?
Yep, the werebear, which is so fun to say. Obviously, the werebear is a half-human, half-bear creature, and there are several instances of this in mythology. A lot of it comes from the Norse mythos. Similar to berserkers wearing wolf pelts, which we've talked about before, some warriors opted for bear skins instead, believing it would turn them into a bear or give them the power of a bear. It was just as common to see a berserker warrior wearing a bear pelt as it was a wolf pelt.
We're gonna have to get Dennis on here to do his episode on berserkers.
Yeah, they really
Coming
came in
up.
clutch with the whole wear discussion. The legend of I'm so sorry to Norse people. The legend of Bodvar Bjarki is also notable, since he was a human who could shapeshift his consciousness into the form of a bear at will. Not his physical form, but his consciousness.
How would that?
I see you processing. I'll tell you the story, and maybe it'll make more sense. This guy has the best origin story of all time, by the way.
Okay.
This was due to his father being cursed by a witch to be a bear. But he could go back to his human form at night. He was like a reverse Fiona from Shrek.
Okay.
I didn't even read my next sentence. I put he was like Princess Fiona if she was a Norse man and also a bear instead of an ogre.
I love that.
I didn't even read it. Alright. While he was in his human form, he did what any man would do, and that was visit a woman and have her bear as children. No pun intended. So the moment he was a human at night, he was like, I'm gonna go get laid with a human woman. And interestingly enough, her name, I don't think it's in here, but her name translates to she bear.
Okay. Okay.
Which maybe she was also a bear during the day.
Ooh, could have been.
I don't think so though. I think it was just the name they gave her. So, Bodvar's dad gets this woman pregnant 3 times. They have 3 children. Bodvar is the 3rd child. And so what he would do is he would just straight up turn his consciousness into a bear and level battlefields all from the comfort of his tent. So the story is that there's this battle raging outside, and the guy's like, "Where's Bodvar? I gotta go find Bodvar." So he goes into Bodvar's tent, and Bodvar's just like disassociating in his tent. And the guy, I should probably say, there was a bear on the battlefield. The battle is not going in their favor, and all of a sudden there's a bear. There's a bear, and it's attacking the enemy, and it's just like laying waste to everything, right? So that's when he decides, I need to go find Bodvar. And Bodvar's just in his tent, disassociating. And he's like, Bodvar, what are you doing? And the Bodvar's like, well, crap, you ruined it. and then he goes out and the bear is gone.
So he's like summoning.
No, Bodvar's consciousness was turning into a bear, or possessing a bear, or
Okay.
something,
Okay.
something like that. Some Native American tribes also have stories of bear shapeshifters. The bear is a relevant figure in a lot of Native American lore, anyways.
Hmm.
Um, but some shamans would take the form of bears, and some medicine men would add bear to their name. This is probably not new to you. None of this will probably be new to you.
Yeah.
It is also said that the spirit of the bear never dies. Is that true?
I've never heard that. Specifically with like in the culture that I was raised in, but
Right.
I believe that. I know that like I don't know if it's just my mom or my tribe, but like my mom always emphasizes that buffaloes will look death right in the eyes. So buffaloes, I think, are like my mom's.
Buffaloes.
Yeah,
Well, that makes sense because, like, of the location.
yeah,
Um, there's stories about like mother bear and stuff
yeah.
from Native American lore. Um, and one type of werebear I probably should have expected was the Russian werebear.
I would have,
The what?
I would have never assumed Russia. Yeah. Speaking of like bears in Native
Oh,
American
your
culture.
thunder sky bear's feet.
Yep.
Yeah. The the Sami. It's a like Russian culture group. The Sami people practiced shamanism, and sometimes their shamans would take on bear forms to grant them success while hunting,
Okay.
or summon the spirit of the bear, or appease the spirit of the bear. It depends on which story you read.
Which part of Russia do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It just said the Sami people, and I looked into it absolutely no further after finding the Sami people mentioned on more than. If I find them you mentioned on more than one website, I tend to believe that that person's not just speaking out of their asshole. Uh, but it's not surprising, as the Sami people revered the bear in their old religion and would even practice elaborate bear rituals to honor the bear and prevent its angry spirit from hunting them if they were hunting bear.
This is giving me like Siberia vibes.
It sounds like a Siberian
How
thing.
is it spelled?
Sami.
SAM. Where is that at? Kola Peninsula. Let's go over to Google Map. Okay, so it's by the Arctic Circle, so not Siberia.
No, I thought that was where Siberia was. Am I stupid? Do I not know where Siberia is?
So, when you look it up, it's like the top part of Finland, Sweden, and then like Russia, like right there, the Arctic Circle.
Oh.
It's the Kola Peninsula.
Oh, like the Bay of Kola.
Yeah, so it's up in that area.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So it's
Okay.
closer to St. Petersburg than it is to Siberia.
Siberia. I like that. I'm like, I have no idea about Russian geography, and you're like, the Kola. I'm like, oh, the Bay of Kola. This is a very specific location. Um, so I do want to pop in before we go to our last location that has these like werecreature legends, and say that there is one place on Earth that doesn't seem to really have horrible halves happening,
Okay.
and that would be the Middle East.
I feel like
Now, uh, this is the pre-Islamic Middle East may have been different, but Islam is not a superstitious religion. It's not a religion of superstition. And so basically everything that is not understandable is attributed and bad is attributed to the jinn or ghouls, which we are going to talk about because human to wolf shapeshifters don't really exist there, but they do have a word for it called katrub. But instead, their shapeshifters are jinn and ghouls.
Okay.
And these creatures shapeshift typically into jackals instead and never take the form of wolves. And
Okay.
while this isn't a true werebeast, I did want to mention them still because every region has its shapeshifters. They're just not always human.
Yeah.
And plus, I think that's really interesting that they don't have like the idea of like werewolves or were creatures, considering the Egyptians had Anubis.
Yeah.
But that's pre-Islamic history, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't look into like what certain other groups might have believed. Like, the Quraysh lived in Mecca before, or maybe it was Medina before Islam. Um, and obviously, it's harder to locate just from a basic search. It's harder to locate the legends of like individual tribes
Yeah.
or individual like clans of people. But and
And
there were so many nomadic groups that didn't really keep good records
well,
in them that it's hard to find stuff.
in my personal opinion, or like in my personal experience, not my opinion, uh, when I was doing research on Australia, which will be coming out towards closer towards the end of the season, uh, some tribes are like voodoo, how it's a closed practice. Some tribes and nomadic groups and just people that experience or have stuff like that, you cannot find it online.
And it's like I said, now that Islam is the primary religion out there, I don't want to say primary because there are still a lot of Christians out there, and obviously Israel has Jewish people,
Hmm.
and other countries have Jewish people. Um, it's it's a very different belief.
Yeah,
But what I do find interesting is that it's the jackal because jackals have a biblical significance too. So that's what I found interesting about it.
that is interesting.
Like there's a whole part in the Bible that speaks about jackals being a sign, like an ill omen.
Okay,
But yeah, they don't really have humans shape shifting into stuff out there, which I found really interesting.
that is interesting. But I guess it is mainly just like, is that Eastern Europe? I hold on, I'm trying to think. Western Europe. Like, I feel like they are super heavy on like Dogman and just like folklore in general that is like easily accessible online,
It was easy to find stuff about Africa and Asia as well.
which is shocking to me.
Yeah, I mean, I knew about the were tiger already because I'd heard about like a story from Cambodia about it at one point. But yeah, no, it was actually surprisingly easy to find stuff. It's just, I thought that was weird. That is the one part of the world that doesn't have anything.
Yeah, that
Well, like I said, it owes to the religion that
yeah,
is the majority nowadays
yeah.
over there. But we're gonna swoop back over to Africa actually, and we're
Okay,
gonna end in Africa.
okay,
Civilization started in Africa. We're gonna end there.
all right.
There is another shapeshifter haunting the night, and it is the werehyena. Yeah, I don't like hyenas anyway because I think they're kind of scary.
I'm just
So
thinking of the
I'm not a
Dogman
huge.
hyena picture.
Yeah, yeah. I have to see that picture every time I open this document. But the werehyena is a stark reflection of how much tribes feared the hyena. To be fair, hyenas are pretty scary, with their eerie laughter and strange faces. But witches, both male and female, were accused of using dark magics to transform into hyenas and stalk villages. Blacksmiths were also believed to be more prone than others to becoming werehyenas. A werehyena could also be a hyena that has shapeshifted into a human.
That would be more. Why is that more terrifying?
Like, imagine you're chilling with your friend and they just start cackling like a hyena and then they turn into a hyena and eat you. That's crazy.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, and I think that probably I couldn't find an explanation for why they believed hyenas might be able to turn into people, but I imagine it's because of their very human like laugh,
It
which
probably
isn't a laugh at all,
is.
but it sounds like a human laughing.
When I was a kid, I used to laugh. My dad used to say, like, no, you have like what a hyena sounds like is how you laugh.
I don't think you sound like a hyena.
This was when I
Did
was
you
a
only sound
kid.
like one as a child?
Yeah, and then I used to sound like a
Okay.
dog when I had hiccups.
I mean, what kind of dog?
My dad always said a chihuahua.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard a chihuahua with the hiccups. Bela never got the hiccups that I
No,
knew
but do you
of.
remember his little like yipes?
Oh, yeah.
That was very similar to what my hiccup sounded like when I was a kid.
Okay. That makes sense to me. So, were hyenas are native to the American flesh pedestrian in some ways. One way being that they can mimic voices.
Oh, fuck that.
Uh, yeah. A villager may hear a loved one calling them and be lured away, only to be devoured by the were hyena.
No, thank you.
Were hyenas were also blamed for grave robbing, cannibalism, and various other acts of evil. Which, to be fair, I think that cannibalism kind of goes hand in hand with hunting people when you turn into a hyena.
Yeah, I would.
And in Sudan, the were hyena specifically attacks lovers after dark. Which interesting, you know. Once again, that's kind of coming into that like fears being a reflection of our morality.
Yeah,
We're being used to instill morality.
my mind instantly went to Jason Voorhees.
Right, and Jason Voorhees is kind of a play on that, like distillation of morality into like horror,
Yeah,
like such as like the Hook Man haunting a lover's lane
yeah.
story being perpetuated in the 50s and 60s when parking was a huge thing that teens were doing,
I think
and
teens
people
are
didn't want
still
them to
doing
do that
that.
anymore.
I think teens are still doing that. Just they've gotten
Nobody
better at
cares anymore.
hiding it too.
Well, that and the ideas of sexuality and purity have changed drastically since the
Yes.
50s and 60s.
Yeah.
A huge difference between the were-hyena and the werewolf is that were-hyenas sometimes work in packs, whether with real hyenas or other were-hyenas, which I really don't like. And we don't see that pack system present in most werebeast legends. Like werewolves are not. We do see it sometimes with Dogman,
Yeah.
but in traditional were lore, we're not seeing werewolves working together. We're not seeing werecats typically working together. Which is weird. You think if they were witches turning into cats, they'd work together.
You would, yeah, because covens.
Right. You think you would see like 12 cats around a campfire,
I'm
but you don't
sorry,
see
if
that.
I came up on a campfire with 12 cats around it, I already know I'm marked for death.
If I come across a campfire with 12 cats sitting around it, I'm not telling Daryl under any circumstances, or I'll have 12 cats in my house that I did not ask for. And I also think that it's a really fascinating addition to the lore that they are capable of working in packs, because I think it reflects people's true fear of hyenas. Hyenas, whether hyenas or regular hyenas, to this day are a very real, present, clear danger for, you know, more rural African villages.
Yeah,
Hyenas will straight up carry people off.
they will.
They will attack people. Hyenas are primarily scavengers, but they have been known to attack people and be
Yeah.
man-eaters.
Have you ever?
Hyenas are especially present in places where other man-eaters have existed, such as like there was a very large case in Africa at one point where there was a lion that was a man-eater.
Yeah.
Hyenas would have been there to scavenge the remains.
Yeah. Have you ever seen how hyenas give birth?
No, that's. I mean, they say that that's an evolutionary trade-off because their high testosterone levels give them dominance over the men. But that seems like a terrible trade-off.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, hyenas apparently give birth through a very small, inflexible opening, and cubs frequently suffocate and don't survive the birthing
And
process, and mothers tear and don't survive the birthing process.
and it's like
And it's painful.
a tube that
Yeah,
comes out of them. That oh, awful, awful, awful,
that's
awful,
that's insane, bro.
awful.
Yeah, so everything about hyenas is awful.
Literally.
Um, from their stupid, scary faces to their laugh to how they give birth. You know what? I'd be a bitch if that was how I gave birth too.
Yeah.
I'd be doing some fuck shit too.
Yeah. Because that's, oh,
I would also never get pregnant.
I would,
Men do not interact. Male hyenas do not interact with me.
yeah. That's, it's a surprise that the breed is surviving, if that's how birth goes.
Yeah, that's surprising that they haven't evolved something else at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I know they said that it is an evolutionary trade off because it is a matriarchal society.
Yeah.
Hyenas are matriarchal,
Yeah.
which, interesting. I also partly wonder if that is why hyenas are so hated. Not just for the fact that they are. Because, like, what reason do Americans have to not like hyenas? But plenty of Americans are like, oh, hyenas are weird.
I
I've never even seen a hyena,
I
and I don't
have
like them.
in person at a zoo.
I don't think I've seen one at a zoo.
I have. They're
Were they awful?
they were all sleeping when I was near them.
Maybe I've seen them sleeping. Maybe that would be where I'd seen them.
Because the zoo that I went to, it was dingoes, and then it was hyenas right next door. Which I'm like, that feels weird.
Dingoes are mean too.
They look so adorable though.
I know that's the problem. Dingoes just look like friendly little dogs and they like rip your face off.
Yeah.
But hyenas are because they eat they eat corpses essentially, and they're a matriarchal society, and they laugh funny.
Yeah.
Not funny in a good way, funny, weird. People are afraid of them no matter where they live, whether they're a danger to them or not. So I think the werehyena is an interesting concept.
It is.
And also, once again, this is going back to how even in places where they don't have shapeshifters, like in the traditional sense, in the Middle East, it's the jackal. In Africa, it's the hyena. In Russia, it's bears. In South America, it's jaguars. In Europe, it's the domestic cat for some reason, or the wolf. In all of these legends, it's fascinating. You can pick what the biggest danger to people in that area was from the natural world by who their shapeshifters take the form of.
Yeah. That is really cool.
Because there's no big predators in the Middle East outside of like jackals.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's like no, because that's in Asia. There's nothing.
Yeah.
They don't have bears. They don't have any of that. So jackals are the thing that'll attack you. In Africa, hyenas will attack you,
Yeah.
as will lions or panthers, which are also things that you can take the form of.
Yeah. Cheetahs.
You can in South America, in those jungles that are down there, the jaguars will get your ass.
Yeah.
And then in North America, which we don't talk about here because we just kind of are a play off of the European legends.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
We had wolves here. Our flora and fauna is, or at least was, not super different from the original flora and fauna of the. Maybe the flora is different, but the fauna wasn't super different. We both had wolves. We both had bears. Big cats.
Yeah.
So, it's going through all these, like, half creatures. In India, the tiger.
Yeah.
Tigers are a massive danger to people to this day.
Yeah. Which I found out, or I don't know if this is true. It's a TikTok, so don't take my word for it. There was a like 7-part TikTok series that I was watching where they were talking about the reason that women's like areolas and stuff are so big is supposed to mimic eyes because back in
Horses.
huh
Oh, they mimic the eye. They mimic eyes, and that's why you shouldn't be shirtless around horses.
yeah
It spooks the
because
horses.
but it was like to like whenever we were topless back thousands and thousands of years ago,
Hmm.
um it would deter animals.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that they would spook horses, and that's why you can never be topless around horses.
Though there that was the
I don't know why
final
you'd be
video.
topless around a horse,
The final
but
video was on a farm, and it was like in proof that like it mimics eyes, and this girl pulls her shirt up and there's like 6 horses near her and they all take off running.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this TikTok. I saw a post on Tumblr from this person who was like, my pastor specifically mentioned that part of the reason it's bad for women to be topless is because it scares horses.
It the girl, she like pulls her shirt up, and it's like 2 seconds to the horses like look, and they all take off running. That was how this
That's crazy.
7-part thing ended.
That's crazy. Oh, and I didn't even mention Japan. They didn't have human shapeshifters. They have like various spirits.
Yeah.
One of the most common ones is like a kitsune type spirit, which is like a fox type spirit.
Yeah.
Um, but those aren't humans.
Yeah.
They're fox spirits that turn into humans,
Yeah.
which I didn't feel like really fit in here. Which interesting that Japan picks foxes as their shapeshifter
I
still,
feel like
even though it doesn't fit what we're talking about necessarily,
yeah.
because foxes were their biggest problem, I guess.
It's so
Until
interesting.
yeah, it's fascinating to see cultures direct. I think Japan's cultural fears are less reflected in their shapeshifters and more in their actual folklore. I will do some episodes on Japanese folklore at some point because it is absolutely fascinating.
I don't know if you've been like how often you get in the dock. I'm in it pretty often. But one of the suggestions for like future seasons is about Asian folklore specifically.
I am such a nerd for Japanese folklore, not just because I'm a Naruto fan. I mean, to be fair, that is how I first got into Japanese folklore, because I noticed a bunch of tie-ins. But Japanese folklore, as it stands, is just so fucking interesting.
Is
Like,
that
not to be like one of those people who like is fat like a weeb, but I find it more interesting than European folklore because I just think that the high morality themes in some of it and the way that they approach certain things, it's so different from the way we look at things.
yeah. That
That still sounds bad no matter how I say it.
I don't think it sounds bad. Uh yeah, because we haven't figured out what season 3 is going to be yet, so you can definitely pick. There's a long list of like I've added new things on there.
Oh.
I think it's like 5 pages long of like possible like season topics.
Oh wow.
So like it's fucking long.
Yeah, that I haven't been on that page specifically in a while. I've got a lot going on, man. They worked me like hell last week.
Well, on like right now, like I think the only thing that we're really referring, I'm on the dock more often because I'm like counting, like I'm doing the countdown, I'm updating statistics and stuff like that. So I'm on the dock a lot,
Yeah.
um, and it's probably going to get changed here in 10 days when I'm on there even more.
So one thing I did forget to mention, because I didn't even see it at the end of this paragraph, is that in Morocco, werehyenas turn into hyenas at dusk and return to human form with the dawn.
Okay, so very similar to some of like
So like
yeah
werewolf legends.
stories. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you find if they have to
I'm
pee
so
in a circle or anything like that?
No, I didn't see anything about having to throw their piss in a circle. Or throw their ass in a circle or anything. Also, I'm stupid. For anybody who's going to come for me and be like, Egypt's not in the Middle East. Yeah, I know it's in fucking Africa. I had a moment, okay? I had a moment. I really wanted to say something about Anubis, okay? And so there are a lot of werebeasts out there. But they all stem from the same concept at the end of the day. It's a fear of the other. Werebeasts symbolize not just the very real visceral fears of living in a particular region, but they also symbolize the other that lives in humans, taking over and terrorizing everyone else, a darker side of our nature. Sometimes this other is simply nature itself. The Aztec were-jaguar is an appreciation of the raw power of nature and an attempt to harness it. The same goes for these werebears. Unfortunately, in cases where the other is feared rather than revered, the other is more often than not a thin cover for a hatred of a marginalized group.
Okay.
Werecats are a fear of the feminine, as most witches accused were women. And as we know, medieval Europe hated women.
Yeah.
In Ethiopia, we see blacksmiths being labeled as most likely to be werehyenas, while blacksmithing was a profession dominated by Ethiopian Jews for a very long time.
Okay.
And this, yeah, so it's because they were Jewish that they thought they could turn into werehyenas.
Which is strange.
Medieval Europe also hated Jewish people, so, this isn't a new concept. Anti Semitism isn't new.
Yeah.
But this concept is not unique to the werebeast mythos, obviously, but it does play a part. So the next time that you think about turning into a horrible half man, half beast werebeast, check your privilege.
I don't know what I thought you were gonna say, but that was not what I thought you were getting ready to tell me.
Yeah, I figured that would get you. So,
Goodness.
how are we feeling? How are we feeling about the werebeasts?
That's I'm I was really cool because I didn't realize that there was gonna be that many. So I'm really fascinated by that.
I just think it's fascinating to look how they differ from culture to culture, region to region.
Yeah, that's I don't know what I thought was gonna be in store for this. Because you like said, like, oh well, there's not that many. So, but I have some other ideas, and I was like, okay. So I was not prepared for this.
I wasn't prepared for the amount of stuff I found either.
That's really cool though.
And when I was reading about the werehyenas, I was like, why the blacksmiths?
Yeah.
What did they do? And then I read more and I was like, oh, they're Jewish. Of course. That's why they don't like them.
Yeah, that's it's just wild.
It's wild how humanity's hatred of the unknown, the other, things they don't understand, how we can literally just not understand something and turn it into like the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't like you because you're a woman. You must also be a witch who can turn into a cat
Yeah.
9 times in a row.
Yeah.
Like
And like
it's interesting. My shoulders are cramping up. That's why I don't have a neck anymore.
and like we've said in previous episodes too, when it comes to like witch trials, werewolf trials, and I'm sure with the were beast, if you did not fit what they think that you should have fit, you were going to be accused. You were going to be hated. You were going to be whatever they could do to get you out of the area.
Suspect. The first suspect is always the usual suspect. It's always the guy you expect them to accuse.
Yeah. So,
Oh, there's been a bunch of hyena attacks. It's the Jewish blacksmith, obviously.
mm, so
You know?
yeah. So like when we talk about stuff, you guys got to remember that like you have to look at the areas and the times when we're discussing some of the stuff.
But none of these werebeasts could ever be what Thief of Livonia was.
No.
I was listening to Powerwolf in the car the other day and I was like, oh my god, Thief. I'm thinking about Thief while I'm driving.
Oh.
I don't think they even have anything that's like officially about Thief. But they might. So I will find that out.
You looking that up real quick?
Does Powerwolf sing in Latin? Of course they fucking sing in Latin. Are you stupid? Who said that? Who typed that? They have song titles like Ira Sancti.
Maybe they were just confirming that it's Latin.
I keep forgetting not everybody went Catholic school.
I just took Latin because I didn't have to do speaking in
Ooh.
that class.
Lupus Dei may be about, and song 11 off of a Powerwolf album. It's their second studio album, and it is a reference to Thief of Livonia.
That's so cool.
I knew that. They've also got a song called 1592 that I think is about somebody we have spoken about before, if I'm not mistaken.
I was like, we have quite a few stories that we have
Oh,
done.
1580. Yeah, it's about Peter Stump, the werewolf of Brandenburg.
We've not done his story. We briefly covered him.
Yeah, I knew
But
we'd mention him though.
There's not much to his story like some of them.
He was just a guy that was a werewolf too.
Yeah.
Except he got a Powerwolf song about him.
There's quite a few that are like that. That we're
I
not covering. There might be I have a doc called Small Werewolf Stories where it might be like honorable mentions.
We might talk about them in like our season wrap up or something. Like, hey, these are guys that didn't make the cut, but we found interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
I do not.
All right, well, thank you guys for listening. As usual, questions, comments, concerns to the email
Yep.
or the comments. If you are from a culture that has like these like horrible halves, let us know. Let us know your regional thing. Yeah. If you are a shapeshifter, or if you're that. Wait, I forgot you cut that out. I was gonna say,
I'm cutting that out.
I was gonna say if you're that lady from TikTok. If you're a shapeshifter, let us know.
Yeah.
If you can turn into a cat or something, hit us up.
Let us know. We are so interested to know about other cultures, stuff like this that is not easily accessible online.
Yeah, because it can be hard to find stuff about, especially smaller cultures online.
And Australia, I got some stuff on you.
I'm so excited.
I think that is like the last episode before we go into our season wrap up.
Instead of Australian werewolves howling at the moon, do they just go, "Oh no!" really loudly at the moon? Do they "oh no" at the moon?
I don't think so. I didn't find anything about that, but that is the one that I have audio clips for.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can pull the audio clip I found. Except I'm not very good at stuff. I'm not very good at tech stuff.
If need be, if you send it in the Discord, I can pull it up so that we can listen to it live together, if need be.
Okay, I'm hoping that I can just like pull it. But all right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week.